Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Talk Hair podcast. My name is Araz. I'm your host. Welcome to season 3, guys. I said this at the top of the season. Like, I'm so proud of myself that we are in the 3rd season. I'm doing something a little different this season. I'm bringing on some people who I absolutely love, who I admire, who I look up to, who I feel bring value to this industry. Because while I feel like there's a lot that I've learned and I like to share, I'm also a big fan of perspective and talking to other people who are doing some really fucking phenomenal things. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you will already see that there is a beautiful guest that I have on. But if you are listening, I brought on my friend Dominique. On Instagram, it's hair by Dom D. I've been watching her journey on social media. I don't know. I feel like we became friends 6, 8 months ago
Yeah.
ish, maybe a little longer.
Yeah,
And
longer.
she's just so fucking cool. A, she's gorgeous. B, like your energy, like I love her energy. But the reason I wanted to bring her on is because she is a $1 million salon owner. She has a phenomenal team. Like she's cultivated a pretty, what I can tell from just looking, a really solid culture in her salon. So I think this episode will be beneficial for everybody, but especially if you're a salon owner, especially if you want a team of really fucking good, solid people and you want to be successful. I think Dom's going to bring some perspective that maybe you didn't have. My understanding in watching you, Dom, on social is you are changing the way people run salons. You are changing this narrative of what it's like to be a salon owner from the old school mentality to what kind of it's morphing into now. And so I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to pass it over to you. If you could do an introduction, talk about your journey, and then we're going to kind of flow, guys. We have a couple things we want to talk about, but I am so in the space of just like ease and flow. So we're going to let it flow. Dom, it's all you, baby.
Well, I just appreciate, you bringing me on, like our little friendship that we've cultivated ourselves over the past, 8 months to a year. And we've been wanting to do this for a while, but life gets in the way. I'm a hairstylist first. Before I'm a salon owner, before I'm an educator, I am a stylist. I am still behind the chair and full time. I'm in the trenches with my team. I've been doing hair for about I would say 18 years now, probably 2004, 2005, right when I graduated high school. Um, and I've been doing it ever since. And it evolved into salon ownership, not by any means of just wanting to have something that the market didn't have. The education came from just wanting to share what I knew to help others. And being a multi-million dollar salon came from just doing right by other people. So these were not rocket science.
Multi-million. Oh shit,
Yeah,
girl. Get it.
these
Get it.
are these are not rocket science fundamentals, and I know that you would like that word.
Go.
Um, these are just life foundation things that I just chose to do things right and treat other people correct, and that helped me, and that is what catapulted me to be better, and that is what put me, to earn the right to be an educator, to earn the right to be an owner, to earn the right to lead other people. Um,
Not
I
right.
don't like doing anything that I don't have any authority on. And to be able to teach others and lead others, I feel that I have to be an expert in some of the things that I teach on because, if you don't walk it like you talk it, or
People will see through the bullshit. They'll see through the smoke.
no. And the thing is, we are in a very transparent world now where it doesn't look like it is, but it's like we are starting to be able to see through, social media. We are now starting to want receipts,
Yeah.
and if you can't bring the receipts,
Then you
you
shouldn't be up there talking on it.
right,
Yeah.
and it takes a
Walk the
certain
walk, talk
kind.
the talk.
Yeah, it takes a certain kind of energy and a certain kind of person to be a salon owner because the shit is hard. It's really hard, especially for those owners out there listening who have bigger teams. Like it we are peopling. We're not doing hair, we're peopling. Like we
You're also
are
doing hair and you're educating and you're people
right.
and you're doing a
Yeah, we're
team and you're
peopling and I'm peopling all the time. But the salon business is changing. The commission salon owner salon is changing. I mean, for a while, like we were getting shit on for, heavy there for a minute, but I think we're about to make a comeback because I think the industry is starting to shift. So the people that I think are coming up as owners that are in my age group, I'm 38. Um, I started becoming a salon owner in my early, like mid to late 30s, mid 30s, I guess. Yeah, mid 30s. Um, we were in those toxic salons with those owners who did things old school, never a day off, no flex schedule, had to scrub the floors, had to earn your right, had to earn your keep, had to have seniority. We're stuck behind a shampoo bowl for 3 years.
Hmm.
That's over.
Yeah.
It
That
is
shit is
over.
dead, guys. And you know what I think contributed to that? And you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, so I'm in California, so we don't have a lot of commission salons anyways. There's a lot of booth rent, but I
Right.
travel a lot. I teach all across the country. And so I see what's going on in the industry in different regions. So I think what happened is we had that toxic salon culture for a really long time. And then here comes suites, right? All of these suites where people are like selling y'all the pipe dream of you can own your own business and you can make a lot of money. You can, all of that is true if you have the fundamental principles of running a salon or a business. And if you
Right.
don't, then you fucked, right? So all these people left these toxic ass salons and they're like, I'm going to do business for myself, by myself in my suite, not understanding how to run a business. So then
Right.
there was this time, which was probably in the last few years, where people don't want to go back to toxic salon culture, right? But they're having a really hard time independent in their suites by themselves with no guidance, with no collaboration. So I think it brings about this space that you've created, right? Where it's like, okay, let's go back to salon culture, but take away the toxicity of it and put in doing right by people, being fair, being kind, being supportive. Like, let's take the
Paying
best.
them.
Yeah, and pay them legally, legitimately, and not
Yeah.
doing the shady shit. So I think that's where we're at as an industry now. There are some people who thrive in the studio. I work by myself. I've never had the goal of owning a salon. I can't people that well. I can't manage people, but I love the idea of it.
Right.
Um, and so I think that's like kind of how it all unfolded. While there are still some people in suites, now you're seeing people leaving suites and creating little mini salons or going to salons where, there's community, there's culture, there's structure, there's benefit. So I think that's kind of what led to it. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people don't really know this, but I was in a suite for 6 years.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was an independent. I had the big suite in there. I loved it. I did exceptionally well. Um, I had an assistant with me at all times. It I did great. If I would have stayed there with the knowledge that's out there for independence now, I probably would have still been in a suite because the education that has come out for business independence has been absolutely wonderful. And
Well,
those who
people,
are
there's
independent,
so many people who are
oh
coaching
my God, like
on how
that's
to
what we
run.
needed. And
Yeah,
if
because
those
we all
suite
went
owners
into
are
it
not,
blind.
yeah, if these suite owners are not listening to these people, I mean, they should because, yes, you can do hair all day long and make a fuck ton of money,
Yeah,
but it's
but
also
where the
going
fuck are
in
the
what
mental?
comes out. But it's like there's so much other things that you have to be in charge of: the admin, the advertising, or the marketing, or whatever, the social, the getting back to the clients, the follow up, whatever. But as an independent, I did exceptionally well. I probably made, I don't know, but I just know that I was tired.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I know I was
You put
tired.
in money, but you was tired.
I was
Yeah.
tired, and I was now at the point where I was turning down business because there was no time left in the day. Um, so I knew that I needed to, either, I don't know, rent a chair. I mean, at that point, I was even thinking about leaving the business completely
Hmm.
because I literally didn't
Kind of
have
a
any.
place burnout, like you were kind of like, I'm done.
No, I didn't know what to do. Like, okay, I've hit an income ceiling. The assistant that I had at the time didn't want to be behind the chair, but she was excellent. Like, I didn't want to lose her. Um, and then I'm like, why don't I just open a baby salon, right? Like, if I could run 6 chairs all day, but in my sweetie, I only have two. If I had six, I could have two assistants and have 1,000 square feet or something like that, and just keep my income ceiling lifts, right? But now I'm doing 10 times more of the work. I'm going to be exhausted. I'm a new mom. Like I'm not thinking that life
When you
is
said
still,
when you said baby salon, it would still be you, just additional assistance.
yeah. I wasn't even thinking that other people wanted to work for me.
What
Didn't
the?
even cross my mind.
Oh, damn. Okay, go on.
And
This.
then I was like, okay, maybe I should get someone to help me, like other stylists. Like I did not want to be a salon owner, just like you said. Like there was no desire. I saw what those salon owners went through, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I'm not trying to manage all those people with all those
Right.
egos, those emotions.
So
Like,
then, yeah, I know.
thank you.
Then I was just like, I was thinking about all this toxicity that I went through in my come up of like all the dumb shit that they made me do for no reason. And I'm like, what if I just open something really small and I just get a couple of good people and I put them on commission and I give them some of my clients so that I can spend time with this kid that I just had,
Yeah,
you
it was
know?
first one.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll try that. So it took me a year. I had really, again, I hit an income ceiling. So like, it wasn't like I had a bunch of capital to go do a $200,000 build out. I was lucky enough to find a space where this lady wanted out, and I approached her and said, "Hey, are you like, do you want out?" And she was like, "Yeah, actually I do." And she was like, "I need 20 grand." I'm like, "I don't have 20 grand because I'm gonna have to put 20 grand in this place. It's like 100 years old." I had saved my tips for like a year and a half, knowing that I was gonna do something with my life. And she said, okay. And I made a deal with her, which was to I let her work for free, rent free for a year, and that would equal about 24 grand.
Wow.
And she said, okay, great.
And she agreed. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, she was happier than shit because no rent. She just had this rent that she was paying for the last 18 years. Now she can come and go as she pleases.
And
And
you're
I
going
gave
to renovate the space and make it all hella cute too. So
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, at 30 grand, I mean, I didn't, now when I look back at it, I'm like, oh my God. And I thought this was glamorous. You know what I mean? After,
it was at the time. It was
it
perfect.
was, right. But now I know, but I mean, I was balling on a budget for sure. Um, and then like all of a sudden, like I started to, social media it and market it, and people started to know that I was out there, and I built it. I had no marketing budget. I had no, I didn't even have a budget. I had no availability to do any marketing, SEO, none of that.
Yeah.
It was just
Just
social
working your
media.
ass off the whole time.
Yeah, it was just social media and the reputation that I had in the area for the past 15 years. So that didn't hurt. And then I brought another one on, and she was, all of my stylists are like under 30 years old.
Wow.
I'm the oldest one in the room.
That's awesome. That's so much fucking like young, creative freaking juice. Like, oh,
Yeah. And
really
to watch them grow is something that, I can't ever put into words. And like, I just keep saying to myself, would I want to work here at 20 something?
yeah. Because that's
Because
the
now,
thing I still have to realize too as a salon owner. Typically, if you're in the position to be a salon owner, you've got a few years, maybe a decade or so under your belt, depending on how old you were when you started. You're not the young blood of the fresh people coming into the end. That's okay.
oh,
And that's okay, but you have to think like them.
it's an adjustment. Like it was hard, like in the beginning, because like you work by yourself, right? So I worked by myself for so long that I wasn't used to working next to other people. I wasn't used to sharing my space and my drawers and the way that I did things. And
Yeah,
I
that
had
shit would
to
drive me
take,
crazy.
yeah, I had to take the hairstylist hat off super quick. And actually, it took me like more than a year to take the hat off and start thinking like an owner. And there was still part of those hairdresser moments for me where I was like, I can't give my clients away. What if they just leave? Like I operated in fear for a long time because
That
I'm
too.
just waiting for these people. I'm going to build them up and they're going to walk the fuck out because that's
Why?
what
Yeah,
I,
because that's what you
right.
experience. Yeah.
That's what I mean, in my career, I've watched multitude of walkouts,
But the
massive
fact that
walkouts,
there is a term that is used in the industry when we say walkouts and everyone knows exactly what the fuck that
right?
means,
Like that's a thing.
it's a thing. It
It's a thing.
happened for a whole fucking salon. Everybody walks out. Now the owner's left. But why is the owner left with that shit? Because they likely created a toxic ass environment that was not supportive and conducive to the growth of new stylists because they're thinking how they were when they got out of beauty school and not where the industry is now. What does the young blood need? What do the newbies need?
So the newbies, and they're smart. They
Uh-huh.
are smart AF because let me tell you something.
They're not gonna put up with shit.
They they're watching things and they know their worth and they know that they shouldn't be working. They don't I mean what I've observed is that we are I'm a workaholic. I don't know about you, but like
Covering, but yes.
yes, no, I am like what everybody doesn't want. I am that hustle culture. I am that is me. And
There's nothing wrong with that. If you're good with it and it's working, then fucking keep
it's
doing
fine for me.
you.
And that's all I know. And I operate well that way. I'm learning to take more time just for myself and to be with my kids. And that's been rewarding, but I wouldn't be able to do that without the
Had you
team that
not
I have.
fucking and not had you not hustled for as long as you did.
Right. My team was, I mean, has been so supportive of me and my endeavors. I mean, I had another kid 30 days. I mean, I got pregnant 30 days after I opened my salon with my second. I was like, holy shit.
Girl.
I was devastated. Devastated.
Yeah, because
Absolutely
that's a
devastated. But I mean, they picked up for me. They took my clients when, I mean, that pregnancy was a little bit more rough than the first one, but they delivered for me. And, you know, it was a short time, but they knew that I had their back even at, you know, being sick and you know what I mean? I was going to work my, you know, work as much as I could. And when I went on maternity leave, you know, I told them like, God, this is your time to clean up.
yes, please show
Use
up.
my absence as an opportunity.
Yes.
Use this because
Ah,
make
ah,
them not want to come back to me. So they all were like all built super fast because I was out. And then, you know, the pandemic happened and he was born like probably a little bit before the pandemic. But my point is we had each other's back very quickly in because they are not, like I said, they are very smart. They read through bullshit. You know what I mean? You're only as faithful as your options. And there's suites out there, there's other salons, there's rentals, there's all this other shit. And they can go as they please right
ah.
now if they choose.
You
But
don't own them.
right. But my question is for salon owners is like, okay, you're always thinking of all the reasons that they're going to leave. Why don't you think of all the reasons that they're going to
How
stay?
are they going to stay? How are you going to encourage them to want
What
to?
are you offering them? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everybody needs to lay out the red carpet for them, but and they don't have to work, but I'm saying it's like it's a partnership, right? So this is like the only
Each
industry.
other.
Yeah, like this is an opportunity for a stylist to open or have a business within another business with no risk.
Or minimal risk, right?
I
Minimal.
took the risk. My house is on the line. So use that, be the best you can be behind that little 5x5 and kill it. I know, and I say to my team, I know you're not going to work here forever. I know that you're the only one person that's dying in here is me.
Right. That's your
So while the time we are together, make the most of it and just be a human.
and take everything that you can, squeeze
Yeah,
the
like
juice out
use
of this
my right,
opportunity.
use my opportunity, use my reputation, use it, abuse it, make it amazing. And I feel like when we talk that way to them, that the pressure of not operating as fear is that gone because they're like, oh, she knows that I'm eventually probably going to leave one day, so we don't have to hide.
Yeah.
But B, what am I doing to make them stay? I'm providing a flexible schedule. I'm not making them work more than they want to. If they are not busy, I don't hold them hostage in there.
Yeah.
I
You
say,
have to
okay,
sweep every hair with a toothbrush because,
right, like make
no.
some content and then go home for the day. Like, or see if you see anything around or stick around for maybe a chance that somebody's calling in or make some, you know, do some
Do all
social media
that.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, do some, and then they do it. And then
But
I'll, you know,
resentful to you.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like, there's this cycle that is so toxic, and it plays out in relationships, it plays out in business, it plays out in friendships, and it's the
yeah,
three R's, right? There's resistance, resentment, revenge. Resistance is not accepting what is. You don't like the situation or whatever, right? I don't like that my boss makes me stay here, and I'm sitting here fucking cleaning the floor with a toothbrush because
doing nothing, making
nothing,
nothing.
right? It's the resistance, and then you get resentful to your salon owner. And it's like, fuck, I can't stand this bitch. Oh my God, who does she think she is? Blah, 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 blah. And then you will see they seek revenge somehow, some way. And the revenge could be the fucking mass walkout, right? The revenge could be accidentally fucking up someone's hair, ruining the reputation of the salon. Like all of that is part of that revenge that starts from resistance that comes from the salon owner not supporting us or not creating a space for them to thrive. When
Right.
you micromanage, and listen, I'm not a salon owner, I relay this in life. But when you're so on top of somebody and holding them to this impossible standard, they're gonna fucking cave. They're gonna
Right.
cave.
And the thing is, they're like, we are humans first. And like, I make mistakes and, you know, mistakes are okay. And, you know, when I check in with my team, like, I'm not checking in with them just talking about numbers. Like, I'm asking them, like, are
How
you
are
good?
you? Yeah. What
Like,
is going on?
yeah, like, I feel that, like, I'll pick it up right away. Like, I can even just, because I'm so in tune with them. And let me tell you something, like, I have crossed lines. Like, oh, don't cross lines with your team. I'm sorry. I cross fucking personal lines because that is the only way that they know that they trust me.
Yeah. And you have to build that
When
trust. You
something
care
is
about them.
when one of them is upset about something, I'm not going to be that person that says, leave your personal shit at the door. No, this is personal.
Yeah, you're human. and you're feeling all the feelings, and they can bring it in and you
And
can
if
help
you're
them
upset about something that's happening in your family, like tell me. You don't have
so
to exactly tell me what's going on, but are you okay to work today?
and if you're not, and
And
this
if
I
you're not,
please
you
go
have to let me know right now
take the space.
and let me handle the rest and you take a breather. I'm
Like
never going to fire somebody for that.
20 years ago, that would never have been possible in my
Oh,
salon. Ever. You show up, you work, you're scheduled, you have clients, you work.
and it didn't matter that, all the thing. I mean, I could sit here and podcast all day about all the things I was told to do and lies I was told and things that I needed to do to get to where, who knows where I would have been if I would have been nurtured properly and not, instilled fear.
Fend for yourself.
Right.
Mhm.
So like I tell like breaks are okay. Like I said don't do how I do. I go, listen, it's hard to teach old dog new tricks. Like I'm not going to eat lunch today because I overbooked
Like
myself.
17 clients. Yep.
That is me. Don't do that. And I'm okay with them not wanting to double book. I'm okay with them taking their time. Just let me know what the time is so we can accommodate the pricing for that. Like let's just be open about it. It is what it is.
I think it comes to, oh my God, this has been such a theme for me in so many areas of my life of like the value of just being open, honest, and transparent
Yeah.
in all of the ways. Like people, I don't think understand how much that helps in operating your business or in even having a successful personal life is like when you're open, honest, and transparent with people, then you are now being seen and heard and you're validated. Like my salon owner is validating me. She sees that I'm
Yeah.
going through something at work or personally, and my dog died or whatever, right? I don't have to put on this front and I don't want to double book. So I have to double book and she's okay with it.
As
Like
long as the income expectations and
that
reality match.
And ultimately, it's not the income expectations are not just for you as a salon owner to benefit, it's for them to
No, for
benefit.
her.
Come on, you want to work, you want to make money, you want to live. So let's figure out a way to take, I think this is what you're saying is what do you want? What do I need? How do we marry the two so that it's a cohesive
Right. And
relationship
it's
that's reciprocated on both
it's
ends?
so easy. And that's the thing. Like people don't understand. Yes, leadership is not something that everyone ever masters. Leadership is a practice. It is a practice that is every day. It will never be mastered because you're leading different people and different people grow and change. So the person that I was leading 5 years ago is not the person I'm leading today.
And I think what
So
I love about you is that you have that mindset where a lot of salon owners that I've met, especially in the past, not so much recently, but
yeah,
especially in the past, is no, I'm the salon owner, and it's this very fixed ideology of what that role looks like, and there's no growth in it. There's no flexibility, there's no leniency, there's no perspective of like, oh no, maybe it needs to be a little bit different. Things are changing, industry's changing, everything's changing. So if you stay like this, the industry is gonna fucking chew you up and spit you out in 2 fucking seconds.
yeah. The thing is, in any way of life, if you are not able to evolve, like you're fucked.
You're
Because
royally fucked.
yeah, because the thing is, here's the things that are here's what the new stylists want, and this is what they're not. Some of them are not getting, and I would say that there are less of me right now. There
Yeah.
will be more. There will be more of me soon.
And as you speak about this, right, even
Yeah,
with the podcast, whoever hears it, it's going to influence and catapult that change in the industry from getting out of this fixed mindset of I'm a salon owner, I know better, and I run a tight fucking ship in this
I
box.
don't.
You're gonna fucking crash and burn, right? So what's happening is it's expanding, right? And as
So,
more people talk about it, it's
well, like
more
you said, the whole point of talking about this on this podcast is perspective,
yeah.
right? So my perspective is, so this is a hard truth that I had to deal with is when I look, numbers don't lie, right? So when I leave to go educate, all right, or if I leave because I don't know, one of my kids is sick for 5 days or life happens to me, my team's numbers go up.
Huh. Why
They
is that?
do better when I'm not in the fucking building.
And you're a fucking dope salon owner. So it's not like you're running this tight ship and it's not like
No,
you're psycho.
it's so funny because in our area I have a reputation of running a tight ship. And if
Okay.
anyone locally is listening to this, they probably would be like, she's full of shit. So I have this reputation out there that I run this tight, strict. I am a pit bull with feathers.
Mm.
Okay. I am so fucking soft. It's disgusting now. And I am soft. And maybe it's because I became a mom. I don't
You
know.
got
But
2 kids now, dude. That'll fucking soften you real fucking quick.
right up. And so, and I've crossed lines that I'm not supposed to cross. There are people out there that say, these are your employees. This is the way it is. You don't hang out with your employees. You don't do this. I'm like, no, because they are, I revere them so much as human beings that I love spending time with them. I
Yeah.
invite them into my home. I've invited them when they've had hard times in their personal lives. I've brought them in my home with my family to stay for a couple days to just chill out. They're coming over in about some of them are coming over an hour because they want to spend time with my kids outside for Halloween. I am not going to say no to that.
Because then it takes a, I mean, I get what you're saying, right? A lot of people will say, hey, business is business, personal is personal. But in the salon industry, in our industry, it's not, because ultimately, I mean, think about even with our clients, when people say don't be friends with your clients.
Oh,
While
please.
I understand that to a certain degree, you're
Yes.
in your client's personal space. They are divulging, you guys are connecting, you are on a different level. So how do you just cut that? And I'm
So
not
it's
trying to
fun.
go hang out
Like,
with them every fucking weekend, but like,
so on, right.
so it's
So
the same
on
thing
one
with
hand,
the owner and your stylists.
yes, exactly. So on one hand, we're saying, and we're seeing this everywhere on social, you have to make your experience with your guest personal.
Mhm.
But on the other side, we're saying, don't get too personal or else you're going to blur a boundary. Your team, you need to treat your team like humans and connect with them and be good to them and treat them fairly and care about the character of the human being. But then again, you have a fine line that you don't cross. You can't cross, you're going to cross lines when you're doing it correct.
You're going to, but the thing is, if you set expectations and
Yes,
boundaries from the get go,
from
you
hiring.
yes, from hiring, there are expectations, there are boundaries, and this is even with clients that you take on, expectations and boundaries, and you communicate those clearly. Would you see a fly?
No, it's like this huge like eagle sitting outside my door, my
I'm
window.
like, I see your eyes just so back to what I was saying though. So when you communicate those boundaries and you enforce them, then you can cross lines into the personal space without violating
Blurring.
boundaries and blurring lines. Yes.
Blurring. So what we do, like we have like quarterly one-on-ones, right? And anytime that I have an issue with one of them, they know that, you know, before every when we have a meeting and we're gonna have it's a quarter meeting and we're gonna have, you know, one-on-ones before everybody goes in for a one-on-one, I'm like, listen, this is the time where we're gonna have our conversations privately. I might say some things that you don't like. You might not like me after that conversation. I hope that's not the case, but just understand that it's coming from a place of love and it's coming from a place of growth in business. Numbers don't lie. And if I have something to discuss with you, you probably already know that I'm going to discuss it with you.
And that's why you're shitting your pants for this
Right.
one-on-one. Like you know it's coming. So
Right.
let's just put it all on the table and understand that we both love, respect each other. It is business, and how can we help each other and reciprocate this growth?
Right.
Because you win, I win. You eat, I eat. I eat, you eat. Like
Right.
it.
Like what, and I always say, like, you know, this is hard to do too, is because, you know, like after the one-on-one, I'm like, what is there anything that I've done in the past 90 days that has rubbed you the wrong way?
Yeah,
And
and
if there,
wouldn't your goal be that they can communicate that with you in real time instead of wait for the 90 days?
so to be completely transparent, I actually have a stylist who's been with me one of the longest, and for some strange reason, our relationship was kind of rocky there for a little bit. I don't know why. Like I don't know what happened, but I could feel a disconnect
Mhm.
and tension a little bit. And we would communicate, I mean, like close, you know? And I felt it. And in our one-on-one, like before our one-on-one, or I brought her in for an early one-on-one because I just couldn't take
Yeah,
it
you're like,
anymore.
something is up. We need to fucking get to
Yeah.
this.
So I brought her in and I'm like, what is happening? And, you know, she actually, you know, said to me, you know, and I said what I had to say. And I was like, you know, this is like hurting me. Like what is going on? Like, and she said, you know, you had came at me sideways about something about a 6N or something 4 months ago. And I'm like, I did not know that.
Yeah. We're
I
human.
must.
Sometimes we say some shit and we don't know
Right.
that.
And so what was the shift? You just decided to not speak to me about it? I said, "Have you been holding this against me for 4 months?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I that sucks and I'm sorry, but you know me well enough to know that you can come to me." She's like, "Well, I didn't feel like I could." I'm like,
Mm.
"I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. And I think you need to nip it immediately next time so that
Well, that's the three R's playing out: resistance, resentment, revenge. Now
right,
her
exactly.
was to
And
withhold her relationship with you and
right.
hold you at in disregard because of those three cycles, but also good feedback, right? To
Yeah.
you, if she's saying, hey, I felt like I couldn't come to you.
Yeah.
So you can now then clear it up and be like, hey, I want you to be able to come to me at any time. But then
Right.
you can take a look at what did I do? How was I being that maybe made her feel like she couldn't come to me? Maybe there's an adjustment I can make as a salon owner. And maybe it was just that conversation.
So we also do this thing, and I encourage any salon owner to do this. Is the I make my team do the 16 personalities test. And we did an
Personality,
exercise.
even like the disc test, the whatever, all of
Yeah,
them.
at whatever, which whenever you whatever's free, whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever's free.
Whatever you can
And
get, just to get to
we
understanding them.
right, so I sent them all the link, and then they would take the test, and then privately they would send me the result, and I would go read it. And then in their group text, I said, "Okay, we've all taken our results. I want everybody to list who they are."
Including
So me, yeah. So then at the meeting, I print all the personalities out, and everybody goes up and signs their name under where they belong. And then I group them of who is who, and then each person from that group reads who they are. And then we ask them, can you please tell the team something, a weakness that you have and a strength that you have that aligns with this personality so that we can better understand you more.
we can better understand, we can better communicate, we can better hold in that space for. It's brilliant. Like people do that in big corporations all the time. You'll
Yes.
see all the freaking C-level staff take those tests so that they
And
understand.
they have so much fun with it because they learn about each other. So now we use that in our salon, and I have a board in my office of all the lists, and we have the names whoever is who under there. And I said, listen to me right now. If any of you have an issue with one of your coworkers, the first thing you need to do is go back in my office. You need to find that person and you need to read how they react to conflict.
Yeah, so that
And
you
you
can
come at
coach
them
them.
in a way that they can understand.
Yes, and that to me is like, honestly, Dom, it's common sense, but I would have never thought to bring that into the salon. So
It's
I
a
hope
genius.
if you're a salon owner and you're listening to this, that it sparks this in you to take it away from just
Hair.
numbers, beliefs, numbers, expectations, just all the work shit, and bring the humanness to it. Because I think that's the reason, or one of many reasons, why you have the staff that you have, why you have the success that you have, why you have the results that you have, is it's not just numbers. While numbers are so important, obviously you're
They
running a
are.
business, like ultimately, like that matters. It's more than that, right? It's the culture, it's the human, it's the connection, it's all of that. So if you're a salon owner, and I feel like I can't speak intelligently on this because I'm not a salon owner of a staff, like I don't have a staff, right? I have my
But you're a
salon.
leader.
I'm a leader in other ways too, but yes,
You're a leader.
but still, I don't feel like I can speak too intelligently on it because I don't have the same experience. But what I'm hearing from you, I hope everyone who's listening is hearing, is like, it's a different industry now, guys. I'll even speak from myself on an education standpoint, distribution standpoint. Things are changing rapidly.
Yeah.
So, of course, salons are changing as well. So, it's either you get with the times and you meet the industry where it's at. I teach on this with clients, right? Meet
Yeah.
your clients where they're at. Meet them where they're at. Clients don't, this is kind of going off on a tangent. Clients don't want to spend 7 hours and $3,000 in the salon if they don't
Hell
have.
no.
So we're over here, like there's people, I took a class last year and it was a 6 hour class. That one look took 6 hours. While it was beautiful, that is not going to be useful for me. My clients don't want that shit. I teach on saving time, efficiency. Like, how can I create the beautiful, most beautiful results, like fucking bomb ass hair in less time? that's what the industry wants. Also, people with their spending, like economic climate, things are kind of weird right now. So to charge, $3,000 for a 7 hour going back to grade transformation, that's a fucking diamond. Like it's a needle in a haystack finding that client. So meet people where they're at, meet your staff where they're at, meet your clients where they're at, meet your students where they're at. That's the new age of this industry. It's no longer I know everything and it's my way or the highway. You're gonna fucking crash and burn real quick.
I mean, and it's funny because like sometimes like when I coach like salon owners about leadership, the first thing I have to do is audit the owner. I
I
audit their
don't
social
like
media,
that.
you know what I mean? And it's hard because sometimes I'm like, I can't work with you.
Yeah, because like
I
it's just
know I can't work with you because, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like, would you work for you?
mm,
Would you work for you?
yeah.
I know that I would
You
work
said
for me.
this earlier. Like, would I work in the salon? Would
Yeah,
you
like
work?
would you like would you, if you left your salon and you were your boss and you just had a one-on-one, would you like what you just heard? Would you want to
Mm,
work next to this person every day? I know that I'm a blast behind the chair.
look like it.
And the reason why I know that is because I still like it. It doesn't do what it used to do for me. And that's been really hard to admit.
Mhm.
And I've now been saying it out loud more.
Same here.
Um, it's really hard for me to talk about it because it's the thing that has defined me, is being a hairstylist and being behind the chair and rocking it out and having $1,000 days. Like that was what defined me. And when it stopped doing what it did for me emotionally, I noticed that I wasn't this bright eyed star that I was behind the chair. And my ego took a beating. Um,
Yeah, not that
and
long ago, girl. Like, it's a very humbling place to be because it's like, what changed? What changed?
well,
What changed for you? Because I know what it was for me. I got to the root of it.
so my root was that I was now finally becoming a true salon owner,
Mm,
which means that when you finally transform to that place, you're okay with you're coming off the chair because now your new role is to lead them
yep. And so what that's same for me, but different. Like same.
education wise.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
as I transitioned, I mean, listen, I will still work behind the chair until the end of
Forever.
the year. I will
Yeah.
not ever give it up fully. Will I come like decrease? Yeah, but there's something that comes with that connection with clients, and I feel like I'm more relatable. I'm more relevant in the industry. I can't teach on something if I haven't done. That's just my personal belief system,
Me
right?
too.
But very similar to you, last year, I was like, it's not doing it as much. Like, I don't hate it. I'm not burned out, but I'll notice that, like, I don't want to take on things that are too much, big, huge projects. Like, it's not doing it for me.
Nope.
So I like the connecting with clients. I like being efficient. And I like making money. So how can I, knowing that about myself, how can I now cater to that version of me, because what's taking over is education. I'm
Right.
transitioning from this identity of 20 something years of being a colorist, being a badass colorist, having a
Yeah.
look,
Same.
all of that. But like now there's something that's taking precedence over that, and admitting it is hard. So I see you like it was I don't think I ever said it out loud until right now. While I
So
still love being here, it's not pouring into me the way I feel when I'm in front of a class or when I'm recording these podcasts.
right. And it's scary.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's
It's
my identity
scary.
for so long.
Yes. It's a
Like that's
scary
what it
feeling.
was.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's also like if I can get past the fear of it, I'm scared because it's new. I'm not scared because I don't trust myself. I'm not
Right.
scared because it's not what I want. I'm just scared because it's a new, the fear comes from the newness of it, not that I don't want it or I don't trust myself. It's just new. So if I can shift that perspective of, yes, it's scary because this is who I've identified as for 20 something years, but it's also like, what am I going to transition into and who am I going to identify now? Like, that's exciting. The in between sticky part is the weird, scary, like, I don't know. But like, once you fully embody salon
Yeah.
ownership, once you fully embody that, like, no, this is it. I still love doing hair, but this is it, right? Like, you still love your clients, you still love doing hair, but or salon ownership or your fucking hair loss, like you are so passionate about that that it's almost like it takes over.
It does. And
Over.
I can't stop it.
No,
And
once you open that well, dude, it's just gonna fucking pour
right.
out.
And the thing is it's funny to bring it back to like the personality test. So a year ago, I make them do it every year. Um, a year ago, mine was a protagonist.
Okay.
Sounds like shit, but like it was, you know, a leader, a fighter, you know what I mean? So when I took that test this year, it changed to entrepreneur.
Isn't that
And
funny?
that was right. And that was exactly, now that's what I am.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a serial entrepreneur
And you're
now.
in it now. Like you're
Right.
standing in it instead
And
of dipping your toes.
yes. And it's again, like even for you being a bomb ass colorist, like that's all we know. That is what has made, that's what we're known for. That's what you've catapulted your career on. That's what you built your foundation on. And when it doesn't do it for you anymore, it hurts.
It's a
I can,
mourning
you're right.
process.
I compare it to like being with somebody that like you've been in the relationship too long.
Yeah. Like
You
love them, but like it's just not.
it's time. And like but again, it's like it's bittersweet because when I do like take on a new client, like most of my focus now is extension work and hair loss work and toppers and all those things, and I do their color to accentuate that end result. So I'm getting it there. But again, like an educator, a true educator, like when we see our students or our stylists have those aha moments and watch them
That
take
does it for
something
me.
that you showed them and put it to their work and put their spin on it and make money off of that, you've literally changed their life.
You literally have.
There's no other feeling that tops that besides being a mom.
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
You're
but
absolutely right.
but
It-
that dopamine
yes,
that
yes, yes, yes. That dopamine used to come from doing the beautiful transformation, turning a client, and then they're like that fucking fueled me for so
uh
long.
me
But
too.
now when I get a DM of
I'm
just
like,
like, oh my God, I use your principles or your fundamentals and I did this and I got myself out of this situation into this and thank you. Like that does it for me. Or somebody says, I listened to this podcast episode and now I like it changed. Like that is what's giving it to me now. So while I'm sad that it's not as much from behind the chair, I'm still getting it. It's just somewhere else.
well, we were never also educated to believe that there was life beyond our chair
Oh yeah. It was everything was behind the chair
or
and
nothing.
or nothing. Yeah. Salon, like there's so many salon owners who aren't even hairdressers. Like that was
I
for
don't
me.
understand that.
Which listen, to each their own. If you
I
want to
don't get
start
it.
a business, that's fine. But like I
I don't
hope you
get it.
get advised from hairdressers because you got to know
I don't get it.
the industry. I'm a very much to each their own, whatever works for you.
I don't get
Yeah,
that one. I'm sorry.
it was either you're gonna do hair, you're gonna be an assistant, or you're gonna do hair, and then you're
Or you're
done.
gonna be an owner.
Select few people or owner, yeah. Select few people would dive into education. Select few people would go into salon ownership, but the majority of the industry is you do hair until you're 90, and then
You
you know
can't walk and you're
when your
done.
body's fucked, you're actually 50, but you feel 90 because god damn it, you're
Right.
like
And you've taken no vacations. You haven't ever left your area. And then you
to
look back.
yourself. No, actually, you're good. You do take time off and you do take
Yeah,
vacations.
I do. I didn't before though. But again, like if I didn't have the support system and the team that I have, I wouldn't. Because now I trust them. I've always trusted them, but now
You
because
built
I trust them even more because I know that I left them with not only skill set, but I left them with the sense of what to do when I'm not there. I've given them tools and resources where if they needed each other, they could go to each other, or if they needed me, I'm still at arm's reach, but they're able to sustain.
Yeah,
Because
it's kind of like parenting, right?
yeah,
Like new age parenting. I mean, when I was being raised by my family, it was very much do this, do that, do this, do that, fit in this box. Where new age, I think the mentality of most moms now is let me pour into my child, let me affirm them, let me grow them, let me show them that they are capable and to trust themselves to be able to handle life instead of me always rescuing.
right.
Right. So it's the same thing with your staff. Like you've built into them the resiliency for them to stand on their own. And that is the most beautiful thing I think we can do for people, our children, our friends, our coworkers, our staff is like,
Students.
yeah, my students, let me pour into you as best as I can and trust that you got it. And then you're going to prove to me that you got it. And then I get to be proud. And then you're winning. I'm winning. We're fucking winning. Like,
We're all winning. So
yeah.
there's so much amazing positive influence that comes from doing what we do. And I wish that that was highlighted more because I mean, negative is always going to take over the positive in so many ways. But like when we think about it and I break it down this way to them, I'm like, this is a place where you could literally, like, if you're having a bad day, whether, I mean, yes, clients too, but if one of my staff members is having a bad day, the best thing that I can hear from them, like, is when they are having a bad day, they're like, oh, I just wanted to come to work and relax.
Oh, I love that.
Like, when I hear that, I know I did my fucking job.
Yeah, that is your fucking confirmation, affirmation. You are on path. You're in alignment. That is
Like,
freaking
I just wanted to come to work. I just wanted to come to work so I could just relax and just be in my place.
and be in my happy place. But
Yes.
you created that. You created that space.
Yes. And
And I guess,
anybody has, and every owner has the, I would say most of us, especially new ones coming up, we have that ability. And if that is the single thing that you take from this podcast, that is what you take.
so then as we kind of wrap it up, because I think we're almost
Yeah.
time to finish.
And it's Halloween.
I know we got trick-or-treating to do. So as we close this out, like I think there's been a lot of really phenomenal nuggets that you've dropped. What would you say, like, if somebody is a salon owner right now, okay, and they are in that space of, I'm afraid I'm going to have a walkout, or my staff isn't thriving. I don't feel like we're at that like peak. What because you're there pretty much, it seems like your staff is happy, your
Yeah.
revenue is great, clients are happy, like you're doing it, right? What would you say to somebody who's in that position where I have my salon, but it's not where I want it to be? What needs to change? What are the shifts that need to happen? And I understand it's nuanced based on who
Yeah,
it is.
whatever.
Overall, like what is your a few words of advice?
So I would say that it has to start with you. So that person needs to do a personal audit of themselves, and that would mean talking, like asking that person, like asking that owner to ask themselves, like, what am I doing for my team? What am I giving my team? What am I wanting my team to do that I'm not doing? What have I laid out the expectations for them? Have I provided the training that they need to do the things that I want them to do? And what am I doing to make this place a positive a positive place? Like that's it. That's all you need to know. When you profit with a purpose,
Ooh.
everything else will fall into place.
Instead of profit, just a profit.
It doesn't work.
Because you're not going to profit. You're not going to
No,
profit.
because you can make money doing so much shit.
Yeah.
If and you can make a lot more money than being a salon owner doing something else. If you get into salon ownership for wanting to be $1 million, making $1 million or taking home $1 million, find a new job because it ain't gonna happen.
That's what I tell people who want to educate. I'm like, you don't get into education for money, boo boo.
No,
Not in the beginning, especially in the
no. I
beginning.
mean,
You're figuring shit
beginning,
out.
middle, or maybe end.
That's true. Yeah, because then there's a whole list of other
You know,
responsibilities.
you educate for a color company that I have mad respect for. I have it in my salon. I'm a Redken artist, and I can tell you when I teach, I taught a class yesterday of 40 people. And when I saw those lights go off in their brain,
I'm like,
I didn't care how much I was being paid.
I'll do that shit for free.
I, I mean,
I
within
won't do it
reason,
for free because I have to live. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, yes, within reason, because it's the contribution to the industry.
right?
Whether
It's bigger than you, it's bigger
yeah,
than me. But again, like
but it
in
comes
my,
down to me, like what you were
yeah,
saying, like for a
and in
salon.
my,
Love that.
right. And in
Love.
my personal life, in my business life, you know, yes, my salon does extremely well, but do not become a salon owner because you're going to make a lot of money. Like you'll make okay, you'll do all right, but your ass better be behind the chair. I'm still behind the chair. I'm not, yes, I am behind the chair because I like doing hair, but I am behind the chair because I am not in the predicament yet to come out.
Right. Right. No
I mean, I
matter
still
how.
love it, but I can't, I can't just be like, bye. my salon still needs my revenue. I'm a beast behind the chair.
Yeah.
So I need my book to still pay some of those bills because they are high as fuck.
Yeah. Especially where you're at too. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think
So
I want to give just some kudos there, like just perspective shift, because as I've traveled and spoken and taught at many salons, I've met many salon owners, suite owners, whatever. But if as a salon
come to
owner,
mine and teach.
I would love to.
So
Oh,
do it.
I think we have to. I think at this point we have to.
Well,
I
I
need
do have questions.
to. Okay, hold on. Let me finish this thought and then we'll talk.
I do have questions.
So my thought is this, that I've heard so many salon owners just super deflect and say my staff this, my staff that, she didn't this, he didn't that, she did this, they did that, and they're constant. And this may not be you, so please take what works, leave what doesn't. I'm not shitting on anybody. It's just
Right.
I've seen
Facts.
and sharing. So just maybe you are like this and you don't even realize it, right? Maybe, hopefully, you can shift that. But it's deflecting on everybody else instead of taking the responsibility. So I loved what you shared. How am I showing up? What am I doing? What am I contributing? Because it starts from you. Like you are the blueprint, you are the foundation on how the rest of the salon environment is cultivated. So if
Yeah.
you take no responsibility and accountability, yet you expect your staff to, that's a red flag. If you're not contributing and you're not in the trenches, then that doesn't always mean you have to be behind the chair, but that
Right.
means in the trenches with your staff, um, and you're expecting them to, that is not, uh, that's a red flag.
Right.
So
It's just
where are
there's
you
no
the red flag?
accountability.
Yeah.
You have to
Where are
hold
you
yourself
the red flag?
accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold
You
yourself to the standard that you're holding your team to.
absolutely. They're only going to follow suit for what you're providing. So, as we close, like salon ownership is the best job ever. Like I truly honestly believe that because I feel it and I love it and I don't think I would be able to do anything else. Um, but I honestly think that if people would just do a little bit more like just asking themselves who they are and where they want their salon to be and maybe wrote it out and said that you know compared to your expectations compared to what's going on and you see those deficits, you'll be getting a very clear picture of where the salon is lacking.
Yeah.
And it sucks to admit that sometimes it's you.
Yeah. But it's when you can admit that it's you instead of deflecting on everybody else, when you can admit that it's you, that's when you can now make things different and shift things. And
Immediately, like
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah,
Like if a salon owner was going through that right now and they are like a good salon owner and they sat down and wrote, and kind of did a little bit of like self-realization and maybe a little bit of self, that would they would grow from that and then went to work tomorrow and said, "Hey, I'm going to call a meeting and I want to talk about all the things that I need to change in here and this is the way that we're going. I respect all of you for staying with me during this time, but I really want to make this better. Help me make it better."
yeah.
Guaranteed nobody's walking out.
Nobody's gonna walk out. Oh my
No.
God. So good. I love you. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. I hope that if you guys are listening, that there were some nuggets that you took from this. If you're not following Dom at Hair by Dom D, not only is she a phenomenal salon owner, she also talks really passionately about and educates passionately about hair loss, toppers. Like she's just a fucking badass. And I'm so happy and honored. Yeah, fuck yeah, fucking own that, stand in that. I'm so happy that we finally made the podcast happen.
Oh, I
So
know. It's been like a year.
I know I appreciate you being on. Thank you. I love you. I
No,
appreciate
I
you.
I love I love talking to you. You're such a fireball.
I love it. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, happy hair coloring. Bye.
Bye.